Hello and welcome to Lee's Lab, where I like to test out skincare and makeup for men. Today I have a whole haul of stuff from Woot. If you are not familiar with Woot, it is an Amazon daily deal website, clearance type items, things like that. And I'm always looking for a good deal. So I have some items that I got from there that I'm gonna try out today. And for me, when I'm looking at certain products on there, if it's certain things like cleansing cloths, great. I can usually find them for really cheap, a couple bucks, right? I'm gonna, in particular, like the Olay Cleanse Makeup Removing Wipes right here. See that? There you go, the glare there. And I believe I get these for like $2.99 for a pack of 25. And then also for skin prep stuff, they have, once in a great while, I find the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dewdrops. And I think I got these for $14.99. They retail for like $35, I think, which is a lot. e.l.f. makes a good dupe of these, the Thirst Drops. But this is what I have on my face right now. I've used a milky toner as a base, the Tear Milk Toner, and then this on top of it. I really want to get a nice glowy finish, really hydrated skin for when I try some of these products. Now, the item that I am going to be trying today for you is the Wet n Wild Bare Focus Niacinamide Skin Tint. 5% niacinamide, and this says that it has hyaluronic acid, peony extract, and this is a light medium sand color. It is a warm shade. I feel like I'm more of a cool shade, sometimes an olive shade. I have no idea what color this is going to be on my skin. I just picked it up because it was super cheap. I think that I got it for maybe $2.99. And so I just wanted to see like what's it gonna look like, right? Really, what is the texture gonna look like on my skin? You know, is it anywhere close to the L'Oreal True Match Nude serum that I love so much? The other thing I got, which I thought was a full size, it was not, was the Tarte Shape Tape Radiant Concealer. And I got this guy right here. It's a little tiny one. I thought it was gonna be bigger. That's okay though. And this is a 1 ml, 0.033 fluid ounces. But she's cute. Got this in a 35N medium. So it looks like it's gonna be a neutral, which is probably closer to what I want. Once again, I have no idea if this is the right color, but I'm excited to try this out just a little bit. The other thing that I found on there was the e.l.f. Hydrating Lip Mask, which was great. There you go, the lip mask here. And then also the e.l.f. Lip Lacquer. And this lip lacquer is in shade Moody. Sorry, Lip Lacquer shade Moody. And I've already opened this guy up here. I did try it on because I was like, I wonder what that's gonna look like. So yes, but I'm excited to share that with you today. The other thing that I got on there, and I've got another one coming, but this is the Revolution R8 brush. And this is an angled foundation brush, right? So it's got a little angle to it. And this one I got for, I think, $2.99. So I'm excited to try this out and see how it works. I have the Morphe foundation brush, like the 104.5 that I really love and I like to use, but I'm excited to see like this angled one and see sort of how this works here. The other item that I found on there was the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Blush. And I'm not really a big blusher, right? I don't really like blush all that much, but depending on what this looks like on my skin, I may need to add some things to sort of make it work. And I'm not going to work today. This is literally just in my office, just testing stuff out. So I'm excited to go on this little journey with you. So let's get started. I am going to start with the Wet n Wild Bare Focus, and got a dropper here. I gave it a good shake. Messy dropper, not too bad, similar to the L'Oreal one, but I would say not as messy. It doesn't seem like it's as thick. Looks like it's going to be pretty runny when I put this on. So you can see my hands very tan right now. I'm going to put some of this on the back of my hand here. And drop. Oh yeah, very runny. Okay, cool. And I'm going to take the brush and I'm just going to dip it into the brush, really just even out all of this, really get it soaked into those bristles there. Make sure it's nice and even. Good. And then we are going to start applying. So put it here. Oh yeah, it's a little light. I think that if I wasn't tan right now, I could probably make this work. And I'm just gonna stipple it into this side of my face. Yeah, we can make this work. Okay, great. So stipple, 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 and sort of a light little sweeping motions. Really get that blended in. Having a really hydrated base is going to be great to sort of see how this sits on my skin, what it's going to look like after a period of time, especially because what I'm looking for typically is something, especially with the skin tint, something that's not really sitting into my skin too much, or excuse me, sitting onto my skin too much. I kind of want it to soak in. I want to be able to see my flaws and imperfections that I have in my skin. I want it to look very, very natural. And I think it may have to do with the glow drops a little bit, but can you see the finish on this? Can you see how glowy this looks on my skin? Is Wet n Wild doing what I think it might be doing? I have this spot right here. I don't know if you saw that. It covered that up so beautifully. Take this down into the neck a little bit. Stipple, stipple. I'm gonna take a little bit left of what's on my brush here and just kind of get that off there and bring that into the neck here. I also like to just make sure I have a little bit on my ears. I don't want my ears to be a completely different color. And I'm gonna go just right into here to sort of even out my eyelids a little bit. I am gonna go with the concealer too to try that out, but just sort of seeing how that looks. Looking closely, tiny bit of buildup in my, tiny bit of buildup in my lines on my forehead, which is, you know, fine, not too bad. A little bit of buildup right here around my nose, but once again, not too bad. I also used like a full pump just on this one side of the face. I probably could have evenly distributed that and weighted and use that like that whole amount on both sides of my face and my neck probably. I don't need a lot of product typically. I don't like a lot of product. As far as the finish and the feel, it doesn't really feel like I have anything on my face. Like it just kind of feels like a primer. It doesn't really feel like I have heavy makeup. It doesn't feel cakey. I'm curious to see what this is going to look like after a little bit of time, once it oxidizes, once it dries down on my skin, to see if it still has that nice glow to it, or if it kind of powders up, which tends to happen a lot on my skin. I do have a little bit dry skin, and I also live in a very, very dry desert area, so that can definitely impact the makeup's wear over time. I'm not a huge sweater, but I don't sweat a huge amount, but mostly because I'm in air conditioning all day long. I do my best to stay out of the heat, out of the sun, and take advantage of all these luxury 21st century technologies that we have. All right, that is one side width. So we're gonna go right here, taking a look at the texture here, taking a look at the forehead lines, I should say. And then looking here on this side, you can see the redness right around my nose. You can see that little blemish right there in my eyebrow, that's just fine. You can see the deep lines on my forehead. But from about this far back, I don't see a huge difference between the depth of the lines here. Clear line of demarcation for the color. But as it sits here a little bit longer, as it is drying, I feel like this sand color is actually kind of working. I like it a lot after a period of time. All right, so now let's go to the other side. And we're just gonna finish the face. Get it up into the hairline. Because I have this super bleached hair right now, I definitely also wanna get it into this hairline so that there's not a noticeable difference. And as long as it doesn't color the hair, color the little baby hair follicles, the ones that are growing out, right? then I'll be happy with that. I also try to push it a little bit into my beard. Oh, excuse me, into my mustache. Not too much. I'll even go through and like rub it afterwards to make sure that there's not product sitting on the hairs that are gonna be really noticeable. And that just kind of blends that in, but I do want the skin underneath to be about the same color. So it's kind of a little bit tricky to get that, but I tend to make it work to where at least I don't think it's too noticeable. You can definitely tell, like at the end of the day, when I take it off and I take the makeup wipe, which is my first step in my cleansing routine, I take the makeup wipe and I rub my eyebrows and I rub my mustache, and there's just like a massive amount of product in there. But I am gonna put some here anyways. And then once again, just give them a little bit of a rub with the fingertip, just sort of rub that top layer off a little bit, blend it in. I know some people that, you know, they're doing a full eye makeup, they're doing a full face of products, and so they even do their brows. I typically don't do my brows. I usually don't put anything in my brows when I'm going out. Special occasions, I will do something where I will want to emphasize them and make them look bolder and, you know, maybe a little bit darker. But for this cute little Woot haul, just trying these products out. Overall, for this product right now, I would probably give it like, on a scale of 1 to 10. For right now, it has like a 6. I think it has a 6, but it could just because it's not exactly the color that I'm super fond of. And taking a look here, it's not too bad. I look kind of washed out on camera. I don't think that I look that washed out in my mirror in this lighting, but I don't know how that's gonna look throughout the day or even in natural lighting. So moving on, now that I have this on here, definitely gonna let it sit. We'll see how it's, you know, looking at the end of this video for sure. Now, I'm excited to try this Tarte Double Duty Beauty Shape Tape Radiant Concealer. And I'm gonna put that up here for you. It's cute. I mean, this little thing is super cute. So with concealers, I don't wear them. Well, I can't say I don't wear them all that often. I do have a concealer that somebody gave me. It is the Tom Ford Men Concealer. It's a cream stick. It is butter. It just goes on. I just put a little right here, just brighten this area up a little bit, hit that little dark spot right there once in a while. And then maybe like this little sunspot that I have here. I love my little mole here, so I keep that. Love this mole, Don't do anything with those really. But for this guy, we'll see how this color looks. And it's got a little doe foot applicator, right? So just gonna put a tiny bit here, and here, and here, and here. I do like this color. Feels creamy. For this, I have a Morphe 303.5 eye packer. This is one of the little short ones as well. This is not a concealer brush. It's also not something that I got from Woot. My partner bought me a little pack that has like a little zip case and like 6 brushes, I think. And so I'm just gonna use this to sort of blend this out here. And just sort of tap that into the area. Oh, girl, okay. It is creamy and it just blended in. It's just gone. It just blended in so nice. And I tend to not put very much around the bottom of my, the bottom of my eye, like underneath my eyelid, I believe my lower lid, because I do have these really beautiful, you know, laugh lines and all of this stuff. And when makeup builds up in there, they just looks more noticeable. And I don't care if people notice my lines. I just don't want them to be filled with makeup, right? I don't want to be clocked at work. If I can go into work and work a full day and people have no idea that I'm wearing it, that would be great. That would be really great. So just lightly tapping this in, blending that out. I bet I could even use a little bit more of this. I don't really have dark circles all that often. And so just a little tiny bit here and there to sort of brighten up this area a little bit. I could probably go on like maybe a little bit of a lighter shade with this. If I was actually in the store buying this, I might actually get 2 of these. I would probably get this one, and I would probably get one that's just a tad bit lighter. I did the same thing with like my e.l.f. concealers when I bought them. I'm not the biggest fan of them really at the moment. And maybe it's just because of my skin prep practices, but they tend to be very, very cakey on my skin. I don't know why. They just dry it out. It just looks powdery. It's not a look that I like to necessarily leave the house in. I've tried them multiple times, but I've got new skincare routine. I've got more moisture sitting in my face. I'm doing my best to plump and hydrate and really prep my skin anytime I put makeup on. And I think that that's going to make all the difference in the products that I'm using. And whether it's the prep or the formula, I can tell you this Tarte Shape Tape is fantastic. Look at this. There's no buildup here. It is blended out here. If I go and squinch, and then open up, I'm not seeing anything in those folds either on either side. Just looks fantastic. I kind of really love it. Now I have the concealer on. And actually, you know what? Hold on, let me put a little bit right here. I want to test this out just in one little spot. Right here, if you can kind of see it, there's like a little spot right there. And then this little guy right there. That's it. Cool. I'm just gonna blend this out here. Oh, she's gone. She's gone. That little sunspot, that little dark spot is gone. She is history. And then this little area here, that little acne scar that I have, also gone. Now I am gonna take this brush and I'm gonna just tap around that to blend in whatever's left on my brush here, tiny bit of product. Just sort of go over that so there's not like the two different colors, but it definitely lightened that up just a little bit more. Great. All right, so now it's just been a couple of minutes since applying the concealer. I mean, after I did the skin tint, the Wet n Wild, and I'm already noticing just from, you know, being a little bit of expressive here that I do have these lines and buildup on my forehead. Not the end of the world. We're gonna leave them for now. We're gonna see how it goes. But I do notice that separation right there. I did, put on my moisturizer 10-15 minutes prior to sitting down to do this. I really wanted to make sure that everything was soaked in, as well as the Glow Recipe drops. I didn't want them to be so fresh that things were like sliding off. I wanted to give it a chance to soak into my skin and really create that nice, good barrier. All right, moving on, I have the Luminous Putty blush that I got. I think this was just like $3, $4 on there as well. So if we're looking at the price tag so far, we've got the $2.99 Wet n Wild, pretty sure $2.99. The brush that was also like $2.99. The Glow Drops, which were $14.99. The Tarte Shape Tape, which I paid $6 for. Thought it was the big one, but that's okay. I don't really use it that often, so this is actually gonna go really far for me. And then I believe this was like $3 or $4, this little blush here. Now, for this, I do have the Morphe 204.5 blush brush that we're gonna be checking out here. And this looks like it has some mica in it. It is a Blush Pâté Lumino. Lumina, I don't know how to say that. Luminous Putty Blush, right. So I'm gonna put in just a little bit onto the brush. I'm just tapping right here. I don't want a lot of color. I just kind of want to lighten things up a little bit, brighten things up a little bit, add just a tiny bit of color. So just see that little bit there? And just gonna add a tiny bit, a nice little swirling motion right here to my cheek, up into this area, into the temple. Beautiful, beautiful. Doesn't look like I have a full face of blush on, just that nice little bit of rosy and really soft swirls here. I'm trying not to lift the product underneath, see what that looks like. It's not lifting the product. It doesn't seem like it is creating any patchiness here. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Just gonna a little swirl here. And swirl and up into the temple. Great. I probably could go in with a a bronzer, bronze this whole thing up, but I really just kind of want to see how this sits. A lot of times I want to leave the house throughout the day, and I don't want to put on anything but like a skin tint. I just want to kind of even everything out. I still want to see my skin underneath. I want to see a little bit of the redness. I want to see some dimension, some depth in my face. With this though, I just wanted to try these products. So we are definitely trying this as well. And that's really all I would do. Maybe just a little bit right here on the nose. Great. Yeah, that looks actually fantastic. So getting up close with this light color, barely anything. Now this has some color to it, right? So if I take my finger and swatch this and put this on the back of my hand, and there is some leftover makeup there, I can get some good color on here if I wanted to, right? But not what I'm trying to do. Not the look I'm trying to go for today. Just want to test this out for me, see how it works to just add a light bit of color onto the cheeks. Great. Yeah, not bad at all. All right, and then my last product that I'm going to be checking out today from e.l.f. Was, I think, on there for $2.99, maybe $3.99 as well. I should probably go back and look at my history, but actually this one I didn't buy. This one my partner bought me. I have seen it on the Woot website before. He also buys stuff directly from the website, so I don't know where he got it from, but he was like, hey, I actually think this color would look great for you, and so let's try this thing out. Now for this, I don't usually wear lipsticks, right? I will take a lipstick sometime and just lightly blot my lips just to sort of bring some color out. Put on a lip oil, lip gloss, something like that. Usually nothing with too much sparkle. But this lip lacquer, I'm just gonna apply this on here. And you can see the foundation, right? Or the skin tint that's on the bottom of my lip. It's kind of wiped out what was there. I'm not afraid to put on a very nude brown like lip liner to sort of redefine those. And then just put a chapstick or something like that right on top of it. But for this, just adding that color back in. Yep. Great. That's it. And then for certain lip oils, things like that, if they have like a really, really strong color, really strong gloss to them, I will absolutely blot it with something, sort of take that shine off, but like leave a little stain of the color, and then maybe do the same thing throughout the day, like once or twice. This definitely on camera looks like I've got lipstick on, but it's not bad. I like the texture. I like the smoothness of it. Has a little bit of a sweet, maybe sweet type flavor, a little lipsticky. You know how lipstick tastes, right? A little bit like that, but it kind of has a tiny, tiny bit of sweetness. I feel like just slightly added onto it. But that is it. This is the final look of this Woot haul. And we are looking at including the brush and the $15 dewdrops. 25 bucks, right? 25 bucks for everything that I got here. You can do a full face, and this could last for a long time. I could do my face every day with this stuff for, gosh, a month maybe, for $25. For less than $1 a day, you can do your face with Woot. Not an ad, but just I like to find a deal. So if you have some websites that you go to for deals and steals and areas where you like to get some really inexpensive products that you like to use, things that you think I should test, please let me know. Before I go here, I'm just going to show sort of after a few minutes, right, and talking and being expressive, what these products are looking like on my face. So taking a look here at my nose, build up on the nose, hardly anything. If I really stretch it over, you can kind of see a tiny bit, but I mean, this area here is sitting fantastic. The lines on my forehead, little bit of buildup there, so that in resting face, it actually looks more noticeable because of that little bit there. So I'm actually going to blend this out just a tiny, tiny bit. I know that there's a brush that is like kind of designed to do this, but I'm just going to use this this brush that I used the Tarte with, this Morphe Makeup Packer brush. I could also, you know, just take this guy and sort of blend that out just a little bit more. Yeah, around the eyes, the Tarte, fantastic. Everything there, no buildup. Even with right under here, like you can, there's nothing there. It's fantastic. Yeah, definitely coming back to this Tarte product again and again. And it's the right color too. Now that everything has been sitting on here with having this warm sand color on here, I actually don't hate it. I usually, like I said, try to go for an olive or a neutral with my undertone, maybe even a cool sometimes. But this looks great. I don't look pasty. Looks fantastic. Thanks for stopping by. Let me know what you think in the comments. See you soon.